Greetings, and welcome to another video from OdooClass.com. In this video, we're going to take a look at Odoo 10 here in September of 2017 and look at the top 10 reasons why you may want to consider it as your business application framework, either as an integrator or for your own company. So starting out, Odoo has a very clean, consistent, easy to use interface, and it's also very easy to set up and configure. So to demonstrate this, we're going to see right away here how you can create a database, set up a sales system, and complete the entire sales transaction from front to back, from sales to invoicing and payment by the customer. So here we just have a database name, an email, a password that you can set, and we've set our language to English and country. I'm going to hit continue here. So just like that, the Odoo database is set up, and we can click install here to install the sales application. So just like that, within 2 clicks, everything's installed and ready to go. We can click here on sales to get to our sales application, and let's go ahead and just create a transaction. And you'll notice we didn't have to configure anything or put in any settings or set up a chart of accounts. Everything is set up, easy to use, ready to go right from the installation. So let's go ahead and click sales orders here. Actually, we'll start on quotations and click create. And here it's just prompting us for our customer. Anything in purple means it's required. So let's go ahead and put in our customer as Bob Sacramento, and just like that we can create the customer on the fly. And we can come down here to our order lines and add what we want to our quote. And let's go ahead and just say widget here and hit create. And we can click on this icon here to edit our product, or we could click on this icon here to edit the customer record. But we can also just go ahead and take the information on the sales order that we need. So let's say they ordered 10 of these widgets at a price of $15 each. You can see that it's given us a default tax here as just part of the installation. But let's go ahead and just see how quick it is to save this quote and then confirm it into a sales order by clicking this button right here. So just like that, we have a sales order. We've set up a customer, we've set up a product, and a sales order in less than a minute. We can come down here now to our sales order and create an invoice for that order. Just like that. And click create and view invoices. And now we have an invoice for our customer right here in draft state. And with one click we validate that invoice. And now we here can click register the payment when the customer pays. Pick our payment journal, and we'll just say that it's the bank. They pay by check, for example. We can put in a memo here for their check number and click validate. And just like that, we've been able to do an entire transaction all the way from the quote to the sales order to the invoice to the customer getting paid. And as you can see, Odoo's got a very clean interface that's consistent between the different documents and the different applications. It's very modular. It's very easy to use. So if you're considering Odoo for an easy to get started with, business application platform, you can see just how quick it is to get going. And so next, we're going to look at Odoo's powerful communication tools that are built right into Odoo. So it's not just easy to use, but there's powerful communication tools that make it easy to keep track of internal communications on either your sales orders or your invoices or purchasing. And this is done so by here at the bottom of documents, there's a built-in messaging system and communication system. Sometimes it's called Open Chatter. And basically with this, for example, if there was a question on this sales order, we could come here and write a message to all the followers of this sales order, which we can expand here to see is the administrator, which was set up with this account, and Bob Sacramento, the customer themselves. And we can say, we have received your order and processed your payment. We will be sending out your widget soon, as an example. And you've got emoticons here. You can add attachments here, and then here's a full editor that I'll just go ahead and click on, so you can see that with a full editor to edit your message. There's even a templating system here that allows you to create templates to pull from, so that you can respond and answer questions. So here I hit send, and just like this, it shows the administrator has sent this out, and it's kept track of here. Alternatively, you have internal notes, so I can come down here to log an internal note and say, attention, make sure the widgets are properly packed. And so when we hit log here, this is an internal note that would not be sent to the customer. So this allows you to internally keep notes about a sales order. But what's beautiful about this, if we come here to our customer records, and we'll see Bob Sacramento here, we can come in here and see that Bob Sacramento has a messaging communication center here as well. So we could here log an internal note and say, please process a membership for Bob Sacramento. And actually what we could do is actually instead make this a message. Notice how I was able to switch that over and not send this to Bob, but instead we could come down here and add additional followers and set up additional people in the company to loop into this communication. So when I hit send out here, we said, please send a process to a membership for Bob Sacramento. This is going out to anybody who's following this customer. So this built-in communication, it allows you to attach notes and messages and communicate directly from within the document. Gives you a great audit trail. It gives you a great center for communication, and you always know which document you're talking about. Furthermore, if you jump over here to discuss, this communication feature also takes place in here where you can set up channels that by just including a hashtag in these channels in your messages will send that communication to anyone that's a member of that channel. So we have, at Odoo class videos on how all this works, but most importantly to understand is Odoo has this built-in, this communication system that it's not just the messages you create, but it also, as you make changes, you can see here by looking at this sales order, we can see exactly when it was changed into from a quote and when it was invoiced and when it was created. So it's a powerful audit trail as well. So next we're going to look at the advanced features that Odoo has in relation to searching. Odoo has very powerful search features. Here we have some demo data in here, and we can just quickly come up, if we were looking, say, for a customer by name, we could come in here and say think, for like think big systems, and you can see how quickly it pulls that record. But Odoo has a very powerful set of filters, so we could come in here, and aside from the built-in filtering by persons or companies or vendors and all this, we can come down here to add a custom filter, and it's these powerful search features that I'm wanting to cover here in the top 10 reasons, because we can come down here and search and make one on anything. For example, we could come down here to country, and we'll go ahead and here and type Belgium and hit apply, and you can see that it's now restricting on the country. But as you can see in our custom filters, we can pick any field in our model right here, so it lets us pick and create any kind of custom search we want, and we can change these together. So like, for example, we could have and add a condition and add additional filtering. Then if we want to save this filter, we can come up here under favorites and say save the current search, and we can say Belgium customers, for example. And we could even then make this a default search, so that if, for example, you were a user that only dealt with primarily Belgium customers, you could save this as default, and whenever you come back here, that's what you'll get. So let's see how that works. I can hit save here, and now when we come and we click on products and then come back to customers, you'll notice that it's automatically filtered that out for us. And then if we wanted to, we could just come down here and choose customers and see them all. So setting up a default, yeah, it lets you see them and default to them, but it doesn't limit you. You can always come in and create the search any way you want. So again, this is a powerful feature. We have videos in our Odoo Essentials course that go over the advanced search in a lot more detail, but it's definitely one of the main reasons that I think Odoo should be considered. It's flexible, and it's this way and consistent throughout all the applications. So next we're going to talk about Odoo's integrated front end and back end tools. So if we come here to apps and go down to the website builder, we can click install. So again, a one-click install, and we'll have a full-blown website builder that's integrated with Odoo. And what I should say is Odoo's back end, because all these Odoo applications are all integrated, and so once we install this web platform, we're going to be able to use it integrated with all the other Odoo applications. So just like that, we have a home page that we can come up here. I'm sorry, under edit, for example, and there's all these widgets. We can just pick one up here, for example, this cover widget, and drop it in here. And just like that, we have a website for our company. And it's got powerful editing tools. And if we wanted to add more, for example, maybe we want to have a comparison chart, we can come down here and say, you know, this might be Odoo, and this could be SAP, and this could be Microsoft Dynamics. And as you can see, you could go and just change this however you want. You could say this is nothing if you get the community version, SAP, tons of money. You get the example, but we can edit and create pages, and you have a lot of themes that are now available on apps.odoo.com, so you'll be able to create and build your website out. Even more importantly, Odoo provides powerful e-commerce tools that integrate right with your website. And we can just install the e-commerce module right here. You're going to see very few business application frameworks that can so easily set up a complete e-commerce system tied to a full back-end accounting system. So just like that, we have a shop with our products on it, with different pages here that you can page through the products. They're dimmed like this if they're only the administrator can see them and they're not active on the web. But as you can see, we got some active products here, and if I click, for example, on the iPod, it's going to bring us up to a page here, and you can notice that it lets you create, using that same web builder, an entire page of content. So I could come in here, for example, and drag this image text block into here, get it down here a little bit to drop it in, and you can see here's our section that it's added, and I can say this is info on the iPad. I can double click this to replace it with a different image. It doesn't look like we have a real appropriate image for an iPad built in, but you can see it lets us add our images there, and we can write whatever we want and hit save. So it's an integrated e-commerce system, but it's also completely tied in to the web framework. On top of it, you can see that we have variants that can change prices, and it'll show you the difference in price here. Pretty cheap iPod. We can increment here and then click add to cart. And this shopping cart is clean. It's built into the e-commerce app and ready to go. It comes here, right, with like built-in policies and secure payment things that you can change, but we can just come right down here to process the checkout. And you can see here that it's filled in the billing address already for our customer and the shipping address and the total for the order, so we can confirm that. And here a built-in payment method is already provided, wire transfer, but you can easily add in PayPal or Stripe or Authorize.net or any of the major payment methods. There's already plugins for them. You hit pay now. Oops, we got an internal server error, and I'm not sure why that would be. Probably because we didn't, have something configured the way we need to. So we'll look past that. But we're ready. It's all ready to go there. And if we come back in here and we look at our sales, this is what's really interesting about how this works. If we come and go to our quotations and click on this, we can see our iPod here and that we ordered, and the customer name, that because we ordered it, the administrator from our own company here. And so there it is right there, and you can even see the transaction and the payment acquirer and everything. So it tied right into the transaction. So even if somebody's just browsing your website, your e-commerce site, and adding things to cart, even if they don't make it through the checkout, you'll see that in a draft here under quotations instead of a full sales order. It's confirmed. But as you can see, it was fast to set up. So going back to our very first thing that we led off with about Odoo, is that it's clean, it's easy to use, it's easy to configure. So we had it set up fast, but also just look how tightly it was tied in. We just added it as an application, and now it's completely tied into our accounting system as well. So it's easy to use, it's well integrated, and it's also a good looking shopping cart. People are going to feel comfortable using it. Now, also kind of related to this, in our next section that we're going to look at, number 5 actually, is great mobile support. If we come here to our website, all of this is web-based. You'll notice we're in Chrome here. So it's a completely web-based application, and it also looks pretty darn good on mobiles, even when you're inside of Odoo. So you can use Odoo on a mobile phone. You can use it on a tablet. And even up here, if you look, I can click and even do a mobile preview of what the website's going to look like. And as you can see, it looks just like as you would expect on a phone. And in Odoo 11 that's coming out, there's going to even be vastly improved mobile experiences. So as great as Odoo 10 is, and I've included it, as one of our items, as one of the top reasons to consider Odoo, is that it's a completely mobile platform. From the beginning, it was pretty, always a web-based platform. And so unlike a lot of legacy accounting systems that are still trying to kind of catch up with the internet, Odoo was founded, as a 3-tier mobile application platform, and it's continued to improve. As you can see here, we even have a mobile preview, so you can look as you're building your website what it's going to look like on a phone. And I can see right here, maybe I don't want to have quite such a big font. Looks fine here, but on the mobile preview, it's just not so great. So I could come in here, maybe just knock this down a little bit, maybe make it 48 instead, and we'll save that. And we can see that that's going to look a little bit better probably on our mobile phone. And so that's enough to be said about it, but look forward to Odoo 11 having even better mobile previews. And so the next reason, number 6, is that Odoo is out of the box ready for global and international support. That means that Odoo has different languages as well as different currency support out of the box, and a powerful translation mode. So in order to get to that, as you can see here, we have load of translation here, and we have look at all these languages that we have to pick from. And so For example, if we want to install a Spanish, of Mexican, I guess you'd say dialect, we can choose this localization here, and it can even translate our websites for us into different languages. But all I have to do is click load, and it's just as simple as that. We've now included a Spanish translation that now we can configure our users in different to use different languages, and as our website. So for example, I could come in here now under users and under administrator, under preferences, edit, and I can pick Spanish and hit save. And I think it's just a matter of shift refreshing and maybe logging out and back in. No, I don't even have to do that. You can see here that at least on this one, you can start seeing it switch over. And if I would think that a shift refresh would do it to my menus. And there it is. Just like that, we are in Spanish for this user. And so different users can have different languages. And let me get myself back out of Spanish since I do not speak it. But you can see how simple that is too, and how integrated it is with the Odoo experience and with Odoo applications. And it looks like it takes 2 shift refreshes, just so you can see there. It does take 2 shift refreshes for it to recognize it when you change it on that user. Now I'm going to quickly activate the developer mode just so I can show you real briefly that's part of this global international support, is that there's also support as well for different currencies as well. So setting up a new currency. Obviously there'd be a lot to this, but I want to show you how easy it is to get started with it and how tightly it's integrated. Here under our company settings, we can hit edit, and under currency, it's got built in already Euro and USD is installed. Both these currencies are already installed, but we can activate a new currency by just clicking here, and you can see, look at all these currencies, and it's even got some default exchange rates. Obviously you'd want to update these, but you can see here's all of the currencies. They're ready to go. And so if we needed to have support, say for let's see, I don't know my currency symbols very well. I think this might be the British pound here. So if I click this, and I can basically, by checking that, I thought it was, we don't want to create, but you can see them right here. This is our currency here, and we just come in here and activate it like that. So that's really what I needed to do. Just come in here and activate it, and you can see what the current rates are. And if I click view rates, you can see that the dates that it's been posted. So obviously that's a long time ago, but you can manage your exchange rates there. And now if we hit edit, we can come in here and assign that currency to our company, and Odoo will handle all that for you. So again, it's a powerful reason to consider Odoo is that it's international support out of the box. It's easy to translate and have the interface in different languages, and have different users and different websites in different languages as well, all in built in. So next, number 7 here, is what you've kind of already seen, is that Odoo has a very comprehensive set of applications. It came from an ERP background, which already required for it to have robust purchasing, robust inventory, robust manufacturing, and all these things. But it's expanded into HR, it's expanded into, of course, the e-commerce, and obviously it's grown over the years to encompass a lot more than just ERP. It basically has an application for almost any kind of business segment you would look, and there's also now a lot of new vertical applications coming. So part of this is if we come here to apps OdooTop10.odoo.com, there's many built community applications. Some of them are paid, many of them are free, but the last count are several thousands. It's like 3,000 or 4,000 applications here, and you can come in here. It's a nice interface here to search by, so we can say we only want to look, for example, apps that are compatible with Odoo 10, and we only want to look at the free apps, for example. And as we go through here, we can see that Odoo has a system here for showing you, how popular it is, for example. And you can just click, for example, on one of these, like View All, and pick one. And all of these, like this account hierarchical import, these can be pulled into your Odoo community, or if you're hosting it yourself, your Odoo Enterprise application. And it really extends the power of Odoo. Enough can't be said that part of the reason that Odoo would be considered is it's actually 12,634 apps is what the count is right here now for all of the apps. So it's just growing in leaps and bounds. Last time I looked, it was like 4,000. So you can see there's a lot of applications, and more of them are paid. Like you can see here, for example, is a full dental clinic management application right here. And we can expect it to keep growing. It is growing so fast. So this is another very good reason to consider Odoo as a business application framework, is the many applications that are available, and how many are available that are just built into Odoo and are easily accessible with just one click. The next thing is that Odoo, is my number 8 reason, is Odoo has a very, very powerful enterprise and cloud solution platform. It's not just that you can host it yourself, or you can host it on Amazon, or you can host it on Digital Cloud, or you can use OdooTop10 or Odoo's own hosted solution. So there's a lot of different ways, and it's very cloud friendly. You can run it on AWS. At Odoo Class, we have a lot of courses on how to install Odoo in lots of different ways. We have some of them on how to install it in AWS, how to install it for secure environments, how to install it for web servers. There's lots of different ways to run Odoo, but it's one of the most powerful things. And that kind of leads me into here. If I go into runbot.odoo.com, this is just a nice little tip that you can take with you as part of this video, but you can see Odoo running right here in the cloud just by coming to runbot.odoo.com for any of the branches, and there's lots of other ones here, and we can see like the very latest fix that we can see came through for version 10 came through just 13 hours ago, and almost every day there's fixes, and with just one click here we can actually run this version of Odoo by just putting in an admin here, and it has the latest version of Odoo with the latest patches and every single application already installed. And so I could click here on sales, for example, and customers, and this is how, with everything installed, how it looks. And you can come down here and look at the settings and change things and work with it. Now obviously it's not going to last. It's a what the RunBot basically is, just a cloud version of Odoo with the latest example data and everything, but it's great for you to try it out. You don't have to install anything. You can go here now, just like I did, and use Odoo. Odoo Enterprise is definitely worth considering if you're an established company. It's got a lot more dynamic reports. It's got a cleaner interface, and it's got more options for shipping and manufacturing. There's lots of extras in Enterprise. And so for number 9, we start to get a little bit more technical, and this is really the only technical point. Is I think a very, very good reason to consider Odoo is that it's customizable, and it's an open source platform that is built on industry standard libraries. Not only is it just open source, but it was smartly designed. It was It's built in Python. It's written in Python. Python's a very popular language. Millions upon millions, if not tens of millions of people, developers know Python. So it's very established. It uses PostgreSQL as the backend database, which is also open source. It also has a very powerful ORM that eliminates the need to write complex SQL joins. So obviously, if you're watching this from a functional perspective, that might not mean a lot to you, but trust me, it's going to save you a lot of money in developing applications. And another thing about it is it's very customizable without having to modify the base source code. So it's one thing to have an open source framework. It's a completely another thing to have an open source framework in which it's easy to extend it and customize it without modifying any of that source code. All of the applications we write at Odoo class, all the applications on the App Store, everything that is created in Odoo essentially does not modify the Odoo source code. That means it's easier to migrate, it's easier to upgrade, it's easier to extend without breaking things. And then finally, as part of this open source framework about the technical things, like a sub benefit, is it's got a powerful API. It's got an easy to access API for importing data, exporting data, communicating with other frameworks and with other services. So Odoo's very friendly. It plays well with other applications and integrates well with other services. Well, and finally we get to number 10, which is Odoo has a great vision. It has great leadership, and I really believe that, and I believe also it has great community support. There's tens of thousands of Odoo developers. At Odoo class, our courses have now been taken by over 2,000 students, and instructors and developers and partners. Shouldn't call them students. That Odoo is growing, and I think that Fabian, the founder of Odoo, and back when it was OpenERP, his leadership has just been instrumental in taking what was one of many open source business frameworks, and Odoo has quickly become one that is just unparalleled. There's not anything really like it out there that has such a solid design pattern, easy to use, just great vision in how the software was designed and how easy it is to use and extend, and to watch these improvements. At Odoo class, we've been working with it since OpenERP 6, making functional and developer videos, and watching it get better into OpenERP 7, and then get renamed, into Odoo, and we saw it go from Odoo 8 when the web content manager got installed and the e-commerce applications were added, and finally in Odoo 9 is the accounting was completely redesigned and upgraded and simplified at the same time, and into Odoo 10 now, where everything is faster and the API is even more refined, and all of the components and aspects have been improved consistently. So I think that what is probably the most exciting thing about Odoo is that how much it is improved, and how it is now become an business application platform that can find its fit in nearly any industry. Like every application platform, it's not perfect. There's issues like if you in large scale things, if you're doing millions upon millions of transactions in large quantities, just like any application framework, there's things you have to consider. Installing these systems is complicated, and the one thing to take away with Odoo is you really do need to, if you are considering Odoo for your business, is there's much of the work is in the business processes. It's in doing your due diligence and making sure that you've assessed everything properly and you've taken the proper steps and the proper testing and the proper preparation It's a big job implementing ERP systems or business systems like this. And as easy as Odoo is to use, and the fact that the community edition is free, I think a lot of people believe that means there's not going to be any costs, and that is just not true. Half of your costs for implementing these systems are not license costs. They're costs in doing the gap analysis. They're costs in structuring your data, to importing your data, and all these things start adding up. So at Odoo Class, we specialize in that level of functional training and developer training so that people can save time and put their resources towards implementing Odoo or developing for Odoo in the most effective way possible. So thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you over at Odoo Class.